Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to another vid. Oh wow, it is not focusing properly. There we go. Welcome back to another vid on my channel. As you can tell by the title and as well as what you're currently seeing, I am actually doing a review of this ATOTO F7 XE head unit that I've had for some time. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out one of my videos in which I have installed this particular head unit and shown how to do it. For my daily, which I'm in currently, it is a 2002 Honda CR-V. For this particular video, however, I am going to be going over some things that I've encountered with this head unit, specifically 5 particular things. Now, out of the many car stereos, this particular head unit has had overall, I think, good reviews, and what led me to wanting to get it originally. But I don't want to seem like I'm generalizing, as these are my own personal experiences. So as a disclaimer, this is just what I've gone through, but again, these are the reasons that I'm going to be talking about, just caters towards what I've experienced. So in this quick video, I hope you find this informative and possibly give you some insight on deciding on whether or not you should continue with this particular head unit if it was in your options. All right, so the first thing that I kind of have an issue with this particular head unit is the fact that the volume doesn't have the greatest in terms of maximum limit of loudness. So what I mean by that is if I press the volume up button, it goes all the way to 50. This is the max loudness, and although it's good when you have the windows up or when you're driving around and it's not necessarily as loud of an environment where you're driving at. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you're not in traffic or you're just not in a loud environment, this is perfect. But a loud environment in the sense that I like to drive with the windows down, especially on like a cool breeze in the summer. And when you have the windows down, although this could be pretty good in terms of loudness, I don't think it's the best. Maybe it also varies on what speakers you pair it with this particular head unit. But the fact that it only goes up to 50 when you have windows down, it makes it seem like the music isn't as loud as it could be. And albeit you probably would need subwoofers or some type of amplifier to help achieve the desired volume with this particular head unit. But in my previous experience with other head units in my project car, which is a Civic, I've had single DINs who were able to expand the loudness without needing any amplifier or subwoofer. And I feel as if with this particular head unit, I'm not able to get that exact feeling in the same way. So that's one of my gripes with this head unit, and that's the first reason as to why I plan on swapping it out in the near future. So the second one, and the reason why ultimately this particular head unit has been giving me issues and why I plan on replacing it, is because MirrorLink, now this is just personal preference and my own personal gripe, it's not necessarily the radio itself, but I'm not sure if I can showcase it since my phone's not plugged in right now, since I'm ultimately using it for recording. But before, I had an iPhone, particularly an iPhone XR. Oh my gosh, the focus is terrible. I had an iPhone XR, and then lately I switched to a Samsung, or Android specifically. Got me the Samsung A35 just to try out a new phone and whatnot, since I've had iPhone for the longest. But essentially, going from Apple CarPlay to Android Auto, one of the downsides to this particular head unit is MirrorLink is only for iPhone. And so you'd expect that MirrorLink would be able to be accessed by both the Android and Apple devices. But unfortunately, again, for this head unit, through what I've tested over the time that I've had this head unit, only on an iPhone can you use it to MirrorLink for like watching Netflix, YouTube, or just scrolling TikTok or showing anything that's going to be on your phone. iPhone's the only way that you could do that. Unfortunately, with Android or Android Auto. You can't. Unless I'm missing a feature that I didn't already know. This is one of the gripes personally that I have with this head unit, and not necessarily that it's the head unit's issues itself. But I guess I should have done more research on that. My third issue is not necessarily with the head unit itself, but more with the brand. To my understanding and what I've found over surfing the web is the fact that there's no easy, accessible software support with this particular head unit. And what I mean by that is when you go on the website, it's kind of a hassle to try and look for the software update. As of now, through what I've researched, there's no available software update publicly. And reading through Reddit, I saw that you have to contact customer support to be able to get these software updates, which to me, as a customer, that's kind of a hassle, and that should be something that should already be posted on the website for you to be able to download, put on a USB, and update this head unit. But so far, I haven't found any available software updates for this head unit. And the only way you'd be able to know if there is any new updates for this head unit is by contacting customer service, which again, I think that is very, very tedious rather than other companies or most companies overall, not just with head units, like any technological device that's out in the modern age would have like software updates readily available, right? So that's just a personal thing with me, not necessarily with the head unit, but I do wish that, again, the software update, if there was one, is made more public than rather having to go and dive deep to look for it. Now, going back to the actual radio itself. Oh, and the focus is going bad again. One of my biggest issues with this radio is the Apple Carplay and Android Auto connectivity issues. So, in the beginning, when I installed this head unit, it was all crisp and fine because I was using mostly the wired option. Now, this head unit allows you to connect to Apple CarPlay and or Android Auto either wired or wirelessly. But I've started to encounter some issues when I started using the wireless option of this head unit. And what I ultimately think is because the wireless option relies on Bluetooth, that it mixes up the connection within having Bluetooth connected devices and overall connection within Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So to kind of expand on my fourth point, which is what I just mentioned, my fifth point, which is I guess the main thing of why I am replacing this head unit, is because, as you can see right now, if I press the power button, there's no audio. So for my fifth point, I do have to elaborate a little bit in the sense that before, at least during the time that I originally recorded this video, I was having audio issues where the stereo unit at times would be playing music, whether it be through connected Bluetooth or Android Auto or even through the regular radio, where at times I would have music or audio and at times I wouldn't. And at first, upon my first time of checking the wiring and everything, I thought everything was good. And then checked the unit itself, made sure everything was good, checked the fuses regarding the speakers and the auxiliary fuses, and everything was good within the car. So at first, I thought that the unit was faulty in the sense that it was giving out after some time. But it wasn't until recently that I figured one of my speaker wires, specifically the negative cable, was loose. And so I've learned after having this unit for quite some time that if you have a loose speaker wire, whether it be the negative or positive cable, it affects all of the other speakers and prevents the head unit from playing any type of audio or allow for any audio to come from any source. So in using this unit, I guess it kind of invalidates my point because I now found the solution. It really took me a while to find this. I didn't really know that this minor mistake could really affect the overall performance of the unit. So yeah, that's my review with this particular head unit, ATOTO F7 XE, that I've had for, I want to say, nearly 2 years now. Not that I'm trying to sway anyone from not buying this particular head unit, but I just want people to be mindful of the issues that you might come across. Again, more than likely, this is probably just a head unit that is faulty. I would like to say that not all head units are like this, but just again, keep these pointers in mind when considering buying this particular head unit from ATOTO. So, thank you for watching this particular video, and if you get a chance, please watch all my other videos. I really appreciate all the views, and yeah, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.